Wow.
White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer just slipped into the chair. He joins us now in the East Room. Good morning, Mr. Spicer.
I tried to keep Ivanka here, but I think that's much better.
No, so
Great
please,
to have her, but
it's great to have her, but
so
always
good to have you.
Always
Oh,
good to see you.
thank you.
Boy, they call you daytime's newest star for your TV fiery exchanges. I'm wondering what it's like for you, Sean, when you're sitting up there.
It's intense.
It seems to be intense every day, though.
Some days there's a lot. It's only one piece of a day. You know, it's about 40 minutes a day. The rest of it is a lot calmer and a lot more pleasant. I think the TV cameras intensify what goes on there, but most of the exchanges are very pleasant throughout the day. You're just seeing one glimpse of what happens.
You're still enjoying the job because there's all sorts of rumors about will he stay, will he not?
I feel very good. Look, and as you were just talking about being here in the White House, it truly is an honor to have this job, and I feel humbled every day to have it, to represent the president, the White House, and the American people. So I love what I do, and as long as the president wants me around, I'll stay.
Well, he said you'll stick around as long as there's great ratings.
Well, then keep tuning in.
Yeah. Obviously, there's been some tension between the press and the president. What's your suggestion for making that relationship optimal?
Well, I think
each has their job to do.
That's
and
right.
You want the press to be tough, and you want an opportunity to explain your own policies.
I think that's right. I think that's the fundamental aspect of what we're trying to do. We want to talk about what we're doing. They have a right and a duty, frankly, to ask tough questions and get to the bottom of things. I think there's a difference, though, about the tone that occurs sometimes and an attempt to try to get a headline rather than a story. I think that they write.
About the press or the president?
The press. But we want to make sure that we have, and I think you saw Jeff Mason over the weekend talk about how we've gone to great lengths to be transparent and accessible and give the press and things. So a lot of the behind the scenes is not what you read all the time in terms of how we operate. We feel very good about the relationship that exists, and I understand the press is always going to want more access, more transparency, and we do our best to make sure that they have access to the president, to leaders throughout the White House and the government. But we want to make sure that it's fair coverage, and I think that's where I think a lot of the tension comes, is when you take an issue out of context or try to create a narrative that isn't there.
But sometimes what you're saying there at the podium doesn't appear to jive with the facts of what's been presented with whatever the issue is. And I'm wondering how you deal with that.
Well, again, we go up there every day armed with a set of facts that we have, and sometimes it becomes a game of gotcha, which is someone comes in and says, well, I know this instead. And if that's the game, it's who can stump the chump, then that's not really an exercise in trying to get to the bottom of a situation. If it's trying to figure out who can, get the other person, that's one thing. If it's an attempt to really understand an issue, we get up there every day. We do a lot of prep to try to make sure that we've got all the facts and the figures. But if someone's trying to figure out how they can sneak a fast one on us and say, did you know that line 78 of that bill had this provision in it? Well, then that's not an honest attempt to really understand the news. We're around all day long. The press briefings usually happen at 1 o'clock. And I'm always amazed sometimes at a member of the press corps that has sat on an issue for 5 or 6 hours only because they want to play a gotcha, playing a gotcha question. If they're truly interested in getting to the bottom of a situation or be able to report out a story, I applaud that. But the question sometimes you have to ask is, what's the motive behind the tone and the question they're asking?
Sean Spicer, great to have you here.
Thank you, guys.
Are you watching Melissa McCarthy movies?
No.
Are you sick of it?
No.
Or are you laughing with it? Or how are you handling it?
I enjoy this job very much, and it's fortunate when someone tells you they're praying for you, or thinking of you or your family, but there can be a little bit of criticism that comes as well.
And guess what? Vice President Mike Pence has also worked hard to advance the president's agenda, and he's going to join us coming up.